Well, all right. This next song is from our CD, Songs for Humanity. It's one that we wrote. And it talks about that thing that we all have that's unique to us. What gift do we have to give to the world to help uplift everyone? This is called What Have You Got to Give?
Singing and dancing is allowed.
Look inside you, what do you see? Gift you got to give the world to set it free. Listen to you now, hear what you say. You're asking just what have I got to give away. Well, maybe it's a new invention, or a book that just won't wait. For all your good intention, we'll put it on the plate. What have you got to give? What have you got to give? What have you got to give? What have you got to give?
Look around you, what do you see? A world in need of so much love for you and me. Listen to yourself, what's your excuse? You say one man can't change the world, so what's the use? What about Mother Teresa or John F. Kennedy? I wanna buy my hot one candy, but I'm not you and me. Look above you, what do you know? Heaven at our fingertips, the world needs to be shown.
So listen deeply now to that inner voice. Rise up to the calling now, it's your choice. 'Cause maybe you will be the person who set that prisoner straight upon the path to truth and freedom. Come on, don't make him wait. What have you got to give? 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 And are you positive? What have you got something real good to give now? Look inside yourself, you can do yourself, and you'll find you've got something really great to give the world. But I want to give, what have you got to give? Look inside yourself, what have you got to give? What have you got to give? What have you got to give now?
Hello and welcome to the Unity Center of New York City's live broadcast. Whether you're locally here in the city or another state, another city, or another country, we're glad you're joining us today. I'm Justin Epstein, Senior Minister of the Unity Center and author of the top-selling book, Super You. We have special guest musicians, as you just heard, Cahill and Delene. Welcome back to them. And also we have Carla and Keyes today. So we're happy with the music we've got today, as we usually have great music, and we're glad you're with us today. So why don't we get going with a little singing. Carla and Keyes are going to lead us in A Whisper of Truth. So if you want to stand and sing with us, please do.
In the silence of prayer, a whisper of truth, in the sound of my breath,
whisper of truth
in the beat of my heart,
a whisper of truth
in the silence of prayer, a whisper of truth in the quiet of dawn,
a whisper of truth
in the rising sun,
a whisper of truth
in the eastern sky,
a whisper of truth
in the quiet of dawn, a whisper of truth in the rush of the wind,
a whisper of truth
in the falling leaves,
a whisper of truth
in the cooling air,
a whisper of truth
in the rush of the wind, a whisper of truth by the luminous moon,
a whisper of truth
under brightening stars,
a whisper of truth
in the silence of night,
a whisper of truth
by the luminous moon, a whisper of truth.
Just a few community highlights for you. We're back at the Unity Center instead of in my living room recording, and we've had some hiccups in the process, and we appreciate your patience as we've moved back here, and we're putting things into place so that we should no longer have any hiccups, but thanks for sticking with us. Also, please like us on Facebook. I understand that helps us reach more people, and also it gives you notices of when we go live. So during the week, I lead 2 mindful moments on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and also I do a guided meditation on Wednesdays, and we'll let you know when that happens, as well as we will give you a reminder of when we go live on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. So if you just like us on Facebook, all that can happen. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you'd like to gain access to a whole library of inspirational videos, then just subscribe. You can see the subscribe button there, and they're giving you the link, and then you can just hit that subscribe, and then you'll have access to the whole library of inspirational videos. On our website, unitycenternyc.com, if you'd like to receive also information about events, when we're going to start meeting again at the center, whenever that is, we don't know right now. We don't have people meeting back here yet, but when that time comes, we'll let you know, as well as guest speakers or any other kinds of things that come up. We'll let you know through that newsletter. So why don't you go ahead and go to Unity Center NYC and subscribe to our newsletter there, just so you can keep up to date, not miss anything for that. And now let's take a moment to have our prosperity celebration. And this is a time where we acknowledge Spirit is our source of all our good, and to give you an opportunity to support this ministry. If this is, obviously, you like what we're doing, and your support helps us to continue what we're doing and even to expand what we're doing so that we can do more things and also reach more people with this inspirational, encouraging message. So we believe that giving is a spiritual law. We know that you have a choice as to where you give. We all do. But we like to acknowledge that very giving that we do in our life opens out a way through which more abundance flows. And it's not only financial abundance or opening up doors of opportunity, but our giving unlocks greater harmony in relationships. It opens up flows of creativity and ideas. It opens up avenues for healing. So giving is a very, very important part of our life. So as we give, let's keep that in mind. And we like to acknowledge that sacred activity of giving by blessing our gifts, knowing that divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Would you like to say that with me together? Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. Amen. In a moment, we're going to do a guided meditation, and a meditation is a time to quiet the mind and open the heart to the presence of God within us. So we're going to do that in a minute, and we usually lead into that with sort of a quiet meditative song. It can often be repetitive, and today, Cahill and Delene are going to lead us in a light in this world. So let's prepare for meditation now as we sing with them, A Light in This World.
We have a wonderful group song for you today, and it's called A Light in This World, I Am a Light by Donna Michael. And this is going to make you feel so good. And you're definitely going to sway back and forth on this one. It's just one of those type of songs. 3, 4.
All right, let's prepare for meditation. Now let's take a nice long deep breath. Good. And now Now let's relax the body, sending the message to every muscle, relax and let go. As your body relaxes, and your mind can become calm and quiet. So we become aware of the feet, we send the thought, relax, relax. Move your awareness to your calves and your thighs, and let go. Release all unnecessary tension. Notice behind your knees and relax. Relax the pelvic area, the buttocks. Let your abdomen and stomach relax. Become aware of your hands, forearms, shoulders. Send the message, relax, relax. Relax the muscles in your chest. Let go and relax. Become aware of your back. Relax the muscles in your back, the upper, the middle, and the lower. Good. Become aware of your neck, the front, the back, the sides. And just send the message, relax, relax. Relax your jaw, your cheeks, your eyes, your whole face, your forehead and your scalp. Let go and relax. Scan your body, looking to see, is there still any place that needs to let go? Let go and relax. The way shower and teacher, Jesus the Christ, said, "You are a light in the world. You are a spiritual being, an expression of universal consciousness. Just like a wave is an expression of the ocean, you are a wave in the ocean of light, the ocean of spirit. Let your light shine. Let your light shine by being in tune with, by having that felt sense of your oneness with the light, by becoming still and quiet, receptive. You begin to know and to experience and to feel and to radiate that light. That light is always expressing in and as you. It's only our mind that becomes disturbed and we lose touch with that light. But you are not your mind. You are consciousness. You have a mind. And the you that has a mind can quiet and calm the mind. The choice is always yours. You can calm your heart. And as the heart and the mind become calm and still, the truth of your spiritual essence is felt and radiates within you and as you and into the world. Let us now begin to focus the mind by observing the flow of the breath as it moves in and out of the nasal passages. Just watch your breathing for a few moments. When the mind wanders, just bring your mind back to the breathing. And now know within yourself, I am the light. I am the light of the world. that idea in your mind and listen within. When your mind starts thinking about other things, bring it back to the thought, I am the light. And then listen and wait. Wait for a response from your inner self in the quiet, in the stillness. Imagine a brilliant light now, filling your whole being and your body, radiating forth from you, filling the whole room and the apartment or home where you are, or wherever you might be right now. Feel and see that light radiating forth from you. Know within yourself, I am the light of the world, letting my light shine. And we include friends and family in this time of meditation and prayer. And we know for each one that you are the light of the world, looking beyond any appearances at all, beyond their physical body, beyond the emotions, beyond the circumstances. Just acknowledging the truth of the person. You are the light of the world. Looking at the spiritual essence. Imagining them radiant with light. And that light is the fulfillment of whatever the needs might be. Needs for peace, for wisdom, for strength, for healing, for guidance, for prosperity, whatever it might be. You are the light of the world. And for all those who have submitted prayer requests to the Unity Center, we know for each person, you are the light of the world, letting your light shine. We expand our awareness to include every person on the planet, regardless of race, religion, anything at all. Every person, an expression of the one presence and activity, universal consciousness, being, expressing as every person. Emerson said that prayer is the contemplation of the facts of life from the highest point of view. So right now we are praying, looking at every person from the highest point of view. All spiritual beings having a human experience. And as spiritual beings, peace and love and joy is established in all hearts. This is our prayer. And now we bring our awareness back to our bodies, back to the room in which we are. Moving toes, fingers, opening our eyes, adjusting to the lighting. And so it is. Amen. Benjamin Franklin was talking to a friend in a Philadelphia tavern when he was overheard talking about the Declaration of Independence by a drunken man. The man walked over to Franklin and said, "That document doesn't mean anything. Where's all the happiness it talks about that we're supposed to get?" Sympathetically, Franklin looked at the man and said, "My friend, the Declaration of Independence guarantees you the pursuit of happiness, but you've got to catch it yourself." A lot of people are pursuing happiness, but they aren't quite catching it because they're reacting to people, to events, to circumstances in a way that frustrates the joy and freedom that they want. Today I'm going to share with you some ideas and some techniques to help support you in choosing your response to whatever life hands you. First of all, develop thermostat consciousness. A thermometer registers the temperature. It reacts to the temperature, right? When it's hot, the red liquid goes up. When it's cold, the red liquid goes down. In a sense, it's kind of reactive. It's kind of a victim to whatever's happened out there. It reacts. A thermostat, on the other hand, regulates the temperature from within itself. A lot of people are unhappy in life because they're reacting. Somebody says something, something happens, it doesn't happen, and they get reactive. They react. And we don't have to do that. We can be more like a thermostat. We can develop thermostat consciousness, learning to regulate our own inner temperature, no matter what's going on out there. At one point, I lived in a spiritual community called Ananda Village, which was one of the most successful yoga and meditation retreats in the world. And at one point, I was working in a bakery deli there. And a fellow I knew, a customer, came in, and I said, "How are you?" He said, "The weather's terrible." Well, it was raining and stuff. I said, "Well, but how are you doing?" "Didn't you hear me?" I said, "The weather's awful. This is a terrible day." He was acting like a thermometer, reacting. The weather's bad, he's unhappy. A lot of people are that way, right? And let's face it, we're all that way in some moments, unless we're avatars who've come back to free everyone else, which is probably not the case for most of us. Yeah, many people are reactive. How are you today? Well, let me check the stock market. Let me see how that's doing, then I'll tell you. How are you? Well, let me see how things are with the boss. Let me see what's going on with the school, with the this, with the that, with the kids, with the, And I know it's challenging, especially these days. It's really challenging for us to choose our response. Well, let's face it, there's some life-threatening stuff going on, and we're concerned. But it's important that we remember that we always have the ability to choose our response to what happens around us and to us, even in the most difficult circumstances. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Dr. Viktor Frankl describes his experiences in the Nazi concentration camps. He was a prisoner. His entire family died there, except for his sister. His mom, his dad, his brother, his children, and his wife all died in the camps. Can you imagine? Talk about difficult circumstance, a hell on earth, really. And at one point, the SS had him naked and alone in a room. And it was there that he had a revolutionary idea revolutionary thought that changed his life and has impacted the lives of millions. As he was there alone in the room, this thought came to mind. You can take my parents, my children, you can take my wife, you can take the wedding band off my finger, you can take the clothes off my back. But there's one thing you can't take from me, and that's what I think about what you've done. See, that is thermostat consciousness. We have that freedom to choose our response, even in the middle of a pandemic, even in the middle of whatever's going on in our life, we can choose our response. Next, let's not act like a robot, observe rather than react. Many people are like robots. We act like robots sometimes. Well, a robot, I guess you press a button and the robot reacts, right? Maybe it's a computer screen now. You touch something and the robot reacts. It's reactive, right? Well, what are we doing? What is a person doing when they say, he makes me angry? Can somebody really make us angry? I've never seen anybody open up somebody's scalp and put anger in there and make somebody angry. She makes me guilty. Every time I go and visit her, I always leave feeling guilty. She didn't open up the person's heart and put guilt in there, right? No one can make us feel angry or feel guilty. Again, it's how we respond to what happens. See, that's reactive. That's like a robot. Somebody pushes our buttons and we react. What does that mean? That means we got buttons that are pushable. That's what it means. If somebody can push our buttons, we've got buttons. That means that if they know how to push our buttons, and let's face it, the people we love the most probably are really good at knowing what buttons to push. I know my mom and stepfather, there was a certain word that really they didn't like hearing. I remember them walking out of a movie because that certain word was used over and over in the movie. They left the movie. Well, let me tell you, when my mom and stepfather had a big argument, guess what word came out of her mouth? She knew how to stir up the pot. Yeah. It's not only negative things that people act like robots, but even positive things. If people know, if we're always reacting to the external, that's even with positive stuff, a compliment, and we're on top of the moon, Well, advertisers know all that. They know what buttons to push. They spend billions of dollars every year learning how can you push people's buy button. They use words like free, new, and people have run to grab their credit card. It's free, it's new. Let me get one. Pushing buttons. They're over there going, yeah, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Let's push the buttons. They know how to make people feel inadequate. Tell them, you need this cologne or this fragrance in order to attract the love of your life. Some of that stuff only attracts mosquitoes. They don't make very good companions. So we don't need to be like robots. We can observe rather than react. That's what I want to encourage us to do. Observe ourselves rather than react. Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say something. He used to say, when you squeeze an orange, what do you get out of the orange? Orange juice. Why? Because that's what's inside an orange. When we get squeezed by life or circumstances or another person, what comes out of us? Whatever's inside. Now that could be our thoughts, our attitudes. It can also be deeper stuff. I've been talking about this and practicing it and studying it for many years. And I've always emphasized the attitude and choosing the attitude, and that's all true. But you know what? There's something even deeper. There's stuff inside of us that we carry around that's not healed. Oh no, here we're getting into psychological stuff. I don't want all that psychological stuff. I just want something quick and makes me feel good so I can get back to work. Well, I'm not going to get that deep. Don't worry about it. It's true whether we want to believe it or not. We carry around unhealed stuff that goes way back, probably even when we were babies, when we were upset about something and they read some book that you're not supposed to hug the child or pick the child up, so we're carrying around that frustration. I mean, there's moments throughout our life where we felt strong negative emotions, and because we stuffed it and didn't deal with it, it gets stuck. Oh no, do I have to spend 1,000 years digging up all this? No, I don't think so. I'm not the first one to talk about this. Eckhart Tolle talks about the pain body. Michael Singer talks about samskaras. Carl Jung, the great psychologist, talked about the shadow self. All the emotion that we didn't observe, but rather reacted to, and we felt it, so we stuffed it, or we reacted out of it. Because we never really felt it, let ourselves feel it, it's still there. And it affects us. And it comes out. That's why a complete stranger can make a comment and somebody can fly off the handle. That's something can happen that triggers these emotions inside of us. So for me to just say it's all in your thought and your attitude, it's not completely the whole picture. We carry stuff inside of us that gets triggered by circumstances, events, by people. The question is, and the important point is, we don't have to react like a robot. We can choose what to do in those moments. And I think it's real important that when that stuff comes up, that we observe it. We let ourselves feel it. I don't want to feel that stuff. A lot of people don't want to feel that stuff. They're afraid of that stuff. It's like Pandora's box with all kinds of stuff in there. People don't want to feel it. They're afraid. If I let myself feel the sadness, I'm going to cry forever. Well, if you don't let yourself feel it, you're liable to get depressed. You know, I don't want to feel what's in there. I might kill somebody. Well, if you don't feel it, that's a good chance that you might fly off the handle and hurt somebody. We've got to let ourselves feel it. And when it comes up, observe it. And then what happens? It diminishes. It starts to pass. I believe in pausing when stuff starts to come up. Take a pause, right? Psychologists talk about when you're under the influence of strong emotion, you go through what's called a refractory period. That's when you're under the influence of these emotions. And we don't think very well. We say stupid stuff. People react, responding to a text message. You ever do that? Where someone wrote you something in an email or a text message or a post on Facebook or Twitter, and there are people who, instead of pausing, taking a deep breath, they're in the refractory period where they're under the influence of strong emotion, and so they go ahead and react and send them out and hit send. Some people's careers are ruined by that message they just sent up. Or relationships are hurt because of it. Or we feel guilty because, well, gee, I wish I had waited before I sent it. We're all done that probably. So remember to pause, take a deep breath, help your nervous system soothe itself. Observe those feelings rather than reacting and being controlled by them. Now that doesn't mean we're always going to be a controlled, calm person. I mean, there might be times where you feel something and you want to express it, and it's necessary to express it, you know. But the difference is, one is making a choice. No, I'm going to let myself express this. And the other is being under the influence, the refractory period. So let's not be a robot. Let's remember we have the freedom to choose our response, and pause before responding. Take some deep breaths. Get through the refractory period so that we can then respond from our higher self, our higher nature. Now, I know we don't always have the luxury of taking a bunch of time. Well, Justin, I can't just go on vacation to a spa and then come back and respond. I got work to do, you know. Not saying that, but if you can take a deep breath, or you can take a walk, or if you have more time, talk to a friend, meditate, heaven forbid, you know, take some time to get still and quiet. There are other ways we can respond and choose our response better rather than react. So don't let anyone ruin your movie night. A number of years ago, when I was living in Sacramento, California, I was speaking in churches in the area, and I had just finished leading Sunday services, and I decided I'm going to take a break, I'm going to relax, and I'm going to go rent a movie. For those youngins here who might be watching, we actually had to rent movies. I mean, believe it or not, right? How many of y'all remember those days? I used to love going in those stores and looking around. This was pre-Netflix, and Amazon was new on the scene at this time. There was no streaming movies at that point. So I got my little Honda Civic to drive to a video store, and all of a sudden behind me, a big Jeep pulls up behind me. And in the middle of the day, he turns on his bright lights. And I'm thinking, geez, this guy's in a hurry. So I come up to the video store, I pull in the parking lot, and then he pulls in the parking lot. I think, oh, maybe he's got a late movie he wants to return, he's in a hurry. So then he gets out of his car, I get out of my car. He goes to the door of the video store, opens it up, holds it open, and proceeds to yell at the top of his lungs, "You are the slowest driver I've ever seen in my life." He might have been right back then. Of course, now having driven in New York City for the last 14 years, I probably drive him off the road at this point. But then he was probably right. I had a choice in that moment. Was I going to act like a robot and react to this guy? Or was I going to act like a thermometer or a thermostat and choose my response? Well, I had been committed. Not only were my values were to choose my response, but this was a pretty big guy also, so that helped. So I said, he was holding the door open, I said, "After you." He said, "No, after you. After all, I've been following you for the past 3 miles. I might as well follow you into the store." He had a sense of humor. So I walked into the video store, and monkey mind started going. That's right. You know monkey mind? How dare that guy talk to me like this? Who does he think he's talking to? He doesn't know who I am. I mean, I could be a 4th-degree black belt. For all he knows, I could be a Golden Gloves boxer. Or worse, I could be a Unity minister. Monkey mind. Yeah, Mr. Thermostat consciousness. Monkey mind started going. So I took some deep breaths, looked around for a movie. I decided, you know what, I don't want to let this guy ruin my movie night. Took some deep breaths, looked around, decided to choose to surf on another channel. You know, like radio channel, different station. I was going to change the channel, tune into a different frequency. I started actually to have some compassionate thoughts toward this guy. I thought, this guy must be having a really bad day. Who knows what happened to him earlier today? Or maybe he's having a bad life. I don't know, but If he talks to a complete stranger this way, how does he talk to his wife or his kids or friends, if he's got any? And my heart started to open up more, started to feel calm. So I just went about and got myself a movie. And I didn't let this guy influence the movie I chose. Dirty Harry. Make my day, punk. Now I went home and enjoyed my movie. Don't let anyone ruin your movie night. We all have freedom to choose our response. It's the greatest freedom that we have. We can choose to think thoughts, to observe whatever we're feeling, and to choose from the highest part within ourselves. Benjamin Disraeli, former Prime Minister of England, said, "Men, and women I'll add, are not the creatures of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men." You can choose your response. The choice is yours.
All right, we're back.
Yay.
And we've got a great song for you. Well, it's one of ours. This is called Everybody Matters. And we actually wrote this song before the Lives Matters movement. And this is from our song, from our CD, Songs for Humanity. And it's a sing-along song, so we want you to sing along, all right? So dancing, singing, dancing on the tabletops is just fine with us. But here's how it goes. Everybody matters, everyone wants love. Now you sing it. Everybody matters, everyone wants love. And we do that a couple times, then we go, love, 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 everyone wants love. You kind of have to move your head too. Love, 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 everyone wants love. That's it. All right, are we ready to do it? Yeah. Here we go. Bring on the band. Everybody matters. Everyone wants love. Everybody matters. Everyone wants love. Let me hear you say love, love, love. Everyone wants love.
I was walking through the park. It was getting kind of dark. I saw a man without a home. He looked so desperate and alone. I didn't know about his smile. Oh, think about it for a while. I walked away without a glance. Oh, wow. Couldn't I take a chance? Everybody matters. Everyone wants
I see you going forward now today, claiming your dominion and authority as a child of God, remembering that you always have a choice. And when you let your buttons get pushed, as I'm sure I will too at times, forgive yourself. Don't condemn yourself. Just get back on the horse, so to speak. And remember, I have the ability to choose my response. I can take some deep breaths. I can get myself centered again. I don't have to let anyone ruin my day, my moment. And I can live from divine guidance that's within me. And I know you can do this. With God, all things are possible. No matter how reactive we might feel at times, we always, through the Christ within, we can learn to take charge of our response. We can learn to be the witness of ourselves rather than the victim of emotions and what's going on around us or happening to us. I see you doing that, making that choice, and living with the freedom and happiness that you deserve. And so it is. Amen. I'd like to thank everyone who was part of our service today. Thank you, Carla and Keyes. Thank you, Cahill and Delene. Y'all's music was wonderful. Thank you so much for being part of our service today. And also thank you for watching. And I look forward to seeing you next time for another live stream service. See you next time. Let us join together for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Amen. And now we're going to sing together the peace song. Peace begins with you and it begins with me. That's what we were talking about today, right? How can we ever have a peaceful world if everybody's always reacting to the outer instead of determining their own inner temperature? So let's all now stand and sing together, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." We'll see you next time.
Please join us in singing "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth,